Beyler 15 dakikaya başlıyor maç. Ben de son ayarlamaları yapmaya çalışıyorum.
Has changed. The gnawing hunger inside me. I've become. I did not choose the thing I've become. A thing to be hunted down like an evil beast. But I can choose the life.
Birazdan başlayacak maç.
Cursed be the choice.
Coming back to the B side from CT spawn, killed the first guy. Somehow the second player, I don't remember who it was from United, but he just peeked. He just swung out. Nico had no idea where he was. If he just hit in that corner, he probably kills Nico in the back. So, I mean, it's just inexperience, right? I mean, Heroic is far more experienced team. Kind of surprised how well they're doing. All things considered, it's mostly a rifle lineup. I don't think Attack has been particularly impressive with the op. Roman has been so far their weakest performer across both games, but Nico stepped up.
Yeah, that was a big surprise that Croman is their bottom performer here. For me, he was the guy to watch coming into this LAN for this team. He's not really performing that well, and actually, we were wrong before when we were making our predictions about whether or not Freiburg was in-game leading. Rubino actually tweeted us and said that Tag's in-game leading. So not only is he in-game leading, he's opping too, which is a lot of pressure on him because he didn't do either role before.
Yeah, I mean, many people question his role on the snappy Heroic at times because he didn't have a lot of firepower either. It didn't seem like he necessarily had all the sort of like the support roles on that team. So now it seems like he's basically just taking every role that you can possibly take. But, they're winning so far, so seems to be working out, yeah.
Yeah, it's working.
And we do have Madi standing by for an interview for a post-game wrap. First of all, congratulations. Also, you've proved a lot of people wrong. You've kind of stepped up your game. We talked about it, maybe statistically we weren't looking at you as a big player on the scoreboard, but you've been doing really well.
Oh, thank you. I've been playing a lot for myself, deathmatch, a lot, like real much, so I'm just happy it shows.
Are we seeing the resurgence of the 1.6 Madi?
I don't know. I don't even play the same roles or anything like I did in 1.6, so I don't think so.
No. Well, okay. So tell me, what role did you do in 1.6 that you're not doing now?
I was the guy who went a lot of lurking, like I do right now as well. But I didn't go first into.
Şeye bakacağım beyler ya. Gruplara.
As the third or second guy. Now I really want to go as the first guy to take the first duel and to be the entry guy.
So Rubino actually informed us that it's Attack calling now instead of Freiburg, who I guess has given up on the role.
No, Freiburg has never been calling first.
Oh, so he never called in Heroic.
No, Easy Treat, Patrick, Easy Treat Jack, he's calling like 50%.
Biz grup B'deyiz. Rogue yenmiş, Opti yenmiş Rogue.
Out as much as we can, so it's like he makes the final shots, but we all help him.
How do the roles work generally on the teams? It seems like you have a lot of players who would be fitting in basically your role, I think. Like you have a lot of guys who could do that role, but then I think it's harder to say like, oh, this guy should be the opper, this guy should be the in-game leader. It seems like everybody's sort of a jack of all trade, but not necessarily a master of one.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of players that can do all the roles basically, but like after Snappy and Jurgen left, we had a discussion who wants to be the in-game leader, and Patrick said he wanted to be it or he wanted to try it. So we believe in him. He has a lot of work in set roles right now, but like 100%.
Hayes, abi Hayes niye şey?
Work as a group, like do
Spiker.
random shit basically. I mean, we didn't have that much practice with Freiburg or Croman because he's a stand-in, and Freiburg just joined us like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. We don't even have an 7 map pools, 7 maps that we actually can play in a decent level. So like we're trying to do some FPL moves, try to do confident peaks, and just try to do plays basically.
Well, it seems to be working out pretty well. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you.
Now, what's interesting is too, like they're talking about this level of preparation. We're looking at a team that's kind of coming in as an underdog because we don't expect to see them do too much. If that's you on the team, do you think that's helping you? And now that you're moving into the playoffs, you're starting to lose that?
I mean, if they're just doing random shit, as they said,
his words,
and
not
it's
ours.
working, I don't see why they. I mean, that's just a lot of confidence. They're coming in here saying, "Well, we're just gonna, have fun, basically." And I think a lot of teams that are successful have fun. I think if you're too serious and you play too strict and by guidelines, you hold yourself back, especially a lot of star players, because star players are well known to kind of just go off and do their own thing. So I think everyone on the team's allowed to go do their own thing, and it's showing it that they're being successful.
I mean, it's a tough balance sometimes. 'Cause some players, they don't know how to do their own thing without sort of risking giving away the round. Right? I think that's the hardest thing for players generally. Is you give them a little rope, then they don't know where to stop. So then you get into situations where someone's sort of trying to gain map control, go for a pick, but they actually commit to it.
Yeah.
So they die, and then that's how things fall apart. So I think that's one
Beyler,
of the
15
hardest
dakikaya
things for
falan
players to
başlayacak.
actually excel at.
I think it's actually the biggest difference here is that NA versus EU and how they go about that. I think NA overcommits so hard, whereas EU doesn't. I think that's why it's better when they do it.
Well, listen, we also saw Config just running through smokes in Banana 8 rounds in a row earlier today, so not everyone's perfect. I don't think.
Yeah, there's always the black sheep.
I don't think
okay.
the party lines are as clear necessarily as you might think.
I think it's safe to say, in generalization, that I think EU players are smarter in when they go about doing that versus EU players. I think NA players are very reckless. So, but it's working for this team.
Your words, not mine.
Hey, whatever, man.
Well, we've got more games coming your way to determine who will be moving on into the playoff stages to join Heroic. Up next, we've got Complexity
Space Soldiers.
versus Space Soldiers. This is DreamHack
Easy beyler.
Austin 2018. We'll be back in a bit.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
Strafe Esports app. Follow your favorite teams and players, and you'll never miss a match again. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.
The Digital Pass, bringing the arena to you. Experience CSGO from the player's point of view. Check out the exclusive content and don't miss the highlights. We have everything in one place.
Return a confidence.
It's the better way to watch CSGO. Your exclusive ticket to esports. Get your Digital Pass now.
Şu klimayı açayım. Geliyorum bazı. açacağım yayını. Ne zaman başlayacak lan bu? Grup A'dan Hero çıkmış. Zaten belli diğer oyun yani. Bunların hiç şansı yok Hero'ya karşı. Grup B'den de biz çıkarız. Hero'ya da çaktık mı olur biter. Benim düşünüm. Rogue'da Hiko falan var ama yani hiç şey yapamazlar. Hepsi ranked oyuncuları ya. Tarık'la oynuyorlar hepsi. Anca ranked oynuyor onlar. Öyle bizi yenecek. Biz kötü modda bile olsak yani onlar bizi yenemez.
Know if your social security number is found on risky sites. Free from Discover.
Ben de Twitch açık, neden bu kadar reklam çıkıyor? Çürümek sesini demiyor musun? Şu an maça geçiyorlar ya, reklamları koyuyorlar. Şu an yayın reklam veriyor, Twitch vermiyor. Şu an yani yayında koyan yayının sponsorları. Yani DreamHack CS'in sponsorları bunlar yani. Maç başlasın böyle olmayacak. Dediğin yerden DreamHack CS'den izliyorum. Zanteres is just a guy with the AK because he grew up with one. Barış Canlıoğlu hoş geldin kanka. Abi ekranda çıkmadı. Bende şu anki ekran var sabit, o reklamlar çıkmadı. Selamünaleyküm, aleykümselam. Emrecan hoş geldin. Neyse ya. Açılacak zaten şimdi. Şuna biraz küfredecektim de. Aynen, yenilirse. Şey var mı? Lower bracket var mı bunda? Bildiğim kadarıyla yok ya. Yenilirsek eleniyoruz galiba. Ama bir maç için gelinmez lan Amerika'ya. Yine Amerika'ya geldiler. Bizimkiler de bu turnuva için. Bir de Engin Engin uçağa binemedi. Engin bunlardan sonra geldi. Yine bir sakatlık çıktı yani. Dur bakacağım. Lower bracket var kanka. Yok hemen gitmiyorsan. Eğer kaybedersek lower bracket'ten devam ediyorsun. Tek kaybetmeyiz ya. İçiniz rahat olsun.
DreamHack Open is brought to you by Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Hacks, and
Hemen elenmiyorsun.
GBet.
And we are back here at DreamHack Open Austin 2018. We're still progressing through day one, getting through these early best of ones to see who's going to be going into the playoffs. We've got a match coming up between Complexity and Space Soldiers. I am your host Bach, and on the desk with me, as always, Lurpus and Hayes. Now, Complexity coming into this, kind of making some changes. Space Soldiers, concrete roster. Nothing has changed in over a year. If you actually check the roster history, there's no tab for 2018 on Wikipedia. It's like nothing actually changed. Not coach, administrative, nothing.
But what has changed for Space Soldiers, the map pool.
That was rough for them.
Yeah.
It was really rough for them. It was a bad couple of weeks actually, because they also, first of all, last Istanbul got postponed to later. That would have been their home event. I mean, it's still gonna be, but it's gonna be later in the year. They couldn't secure visas to go to Sydney, so they had to cancel on that event. They crashed out in the group stage at DreamHack Masters Marseille, and then
Şerefsize bak, gömüyor bizi ha.
so that was just a really tough couple of weeks for the Turks.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate because Kabul was really their home map. They
That
were
was their bread and butter.
Yeah,
That's what they relied on beating the vetoes.
Absolutely.
Aynen,
They were
Kabul.
incredible on that map,
Kabul
and it
bizim
forced
var ya,
almost
evimizdi ya.
always a game 3.
Yeah, I think at one point they were like undefeated on the map. They actually hadn't lost on Kabul, which is pretty impressive. We'll take a look at the groups though, so you can appreciate just how we got to the point we're in now. Taking a look over at Group B, Optic versus Rogue already played out. They played out much earlier today, and Space Soldiers and Complexity playing out now. Rogue waiting to see who wins that one, so we can see that final winners match to determine our second team making it into the playoffs. But it's going to be a rough ride, regardless of who Rogue faces, because I think that both Complexity and Space Soldiers will give them a run for their money. One way more so than the other.
Well, yeah, I know what you're hinting at, but I don't think either expected Rogue to be in that position. I think everyone expected Optic to win that matchup. So I think they're going to come into this probably a little unprepared, probably happy, to be honest. Even though Rogue won, it's not that it was super convincing. I think Optic still gave a good fight. You saw Rogue almost choke it away. They had a huge lead. So I think the teams are happy that Rogue ended up winning because in their mind they're saying this is an easier road to playoffs.
I think for Rogue though, I mean they've had plenty of time to think about the upcoming match today because the match was obviously played far earlier instead of just playing one group at a time. That's because Engine from Space Soldiers had some troubles with his flight, so we're told he actually had to take an Uber from Houston, which is the closest place he could fly. It's like 3 hours of car ride. I think he only arrived like an hour ago or so. So he's probably not 110%, but hopefully he's close enough that it doesn't impact the results.
I have a feeling it might though, unfortunately. But we'll see. I have a lot of faith in Complexity. This new roster has been aggressive to say the least. I've had the pleasure of playing them in multiple qualifiers in the last few months, and since they've acquired Shazam and Stanislaw, they have been outrageously aggressive. And I don't know if that's because it's their style. The old Complexity was a very aggressive team, but I feel like Stanislaw was always that kind of caller anyway. He played a very loose style, loose system. I did a lot of watching his Optic days as a caller, and he played that loose style, but he was a caller that did have a few set strats that he would mix into his aggressive early game play, and it made him hard to read. So I think this team could be pretty good. I don't think they'll be tier 1 level, but this is a good chance to prove themselves.
Speaking of Stanislav, there's an interesting matchup potentially looming in the horizon. Should Space Soldiers win today, we'd get Stanislav against Optic, the trio that abandoned him.
Spicy.
Well, both him and Dejam actually.
Bunların hepsi ya Rankes ya FPL oyuncusu ya. Öyle çok taktik maktik yapacaklarını zannetmiyorum. Bir aralarında en iyi Stanislav bayağı bir eski oyuncu. Team Liquid'de kaç kere majörlere katıldı yani. Benim bildiğim.
There were teams that really just like they kind of clashed a little bit, and you got to see it in the early days. We don't see it as much anymore.
To be clear, we didn't lose it because CS grew bigger or something. We lost it because now if people see anything out of the ordinary, it goes on top of Reddit and someone's demanding that someone get kicked. So that's all on the community, frankly.
I mean, we did an event. I worked the event for Aces ROG Masters, and Splice was playing against Ghost at the time, and they put Wardell on the end. And at one point, they actually had to warn Splice that they would forfeit the series if they didn't stop because Davey was excessively trash talking. Davey actually stood up.
He's notorious.
Engin'in sol eli şeye sargıda klavyeyi kullandığı eli.
And I think it's ridiculous that we're sort of steering away from there. Engine, he's looking fine.
Yeah, he looks good.
I mean, his suitcase is here with him.
Zantares.
He came like basically straight here.
ADR'a bak. 96.
Star of the team. What, dude? This guy is a prolific fragger.
Rating 1.35.
In my opinion, and especially on the rifle. I wonder if he's good with the op.
AP'de kötü ya. Kullanmaya çalışıyor da.
You could put any gun in his hand and there's a chance he's probably going to get a kill with it.
Hadi bakayım. Hadi bakayım. Hadi bakayım.
He's just absurdly good.
Maşer.
This is really the player who kind of unlocked the team's potential. Once they brought in Major as the in-game leader, things started turning up. His Space Soldiers has been around for a while, and Zantares has been building this Turkish roster. But it was once they brought in Major, who's a French-Turkish player, that things really started to explode from there.
He's a really old school player, by the way. I played with him when he was playing for French teams back in 2009.
Vay anasını.
He's been around for quite a while.
Yeah,
Oha.
he's an old school player back in 1.6. So I
Aynen,
think this
Majör
team has
1.6'dan beri
proven that
Fransa'da
they are
oynuyordu da.
good enough, at least
Frans-
online,
Fransa'yla.
to compete with the tier 1
This
team.
is the second monster on that team.
Yes,
Calix.
as soon as they picked up Calix, he made an immediate impact in their performance. This guy has been incredible for this team. The problem is they just could never bring it together on land.
He was actually the most recent pickup. He was the last one that they made. They picked up Calix. They were playing with Despy at the time, and now Despy is actually still on the team as a stand-in a year and a half later. And he came in clutch when they went to Pro League, and they couldn't play with him. They had like a visa issue at Pro League as well, if I'm not mistaken, or some sort of travel issue.
Yeah, that was a visa issue, but then he got it sorted out in time for this. Obviously, both events in the U.S. So
there you can see the odds, Space Soldiers and Complexity. Fair enough. I'd say that's pretty accurate. You know, I would actually expect it to be swung a little bit heavier, almost, simply because of the fact that Complexity, as a brand, has not had a good team in many years.
Yeah, they haven't really proven anything with any of their rosters so far.
Kompleksi
Their roster probably
Tarık'tan
has the best
başka.
chance of proving something.
Tarık
This would be a
varken
good place to
bir ara
start.
iyiydi.
I don't
Tarık'la
think they're
Hazed
gonna be
varken.
favorites here. I mean, Space Soldiers has proven, at least, like I said, online, that they're capable of beating tier 1 teams. They haven't really brought it together on land yet, but the removal of Cobblestone really hurt them. So I think it's kind of skewing that view a little bit.
And I think Space Soldiers, as we talked about earlier, they really need to adjust to their map pool to compensate for that. I think otherwise they're going to be in serious trouble, and I don't know how else they can make up for it, because they've been together for such a long time with this roster, like you pointed out, that in some ways, like it's going to be much harder to figure out how to get that extra 5% out of a map that you've already practiced for a year than to maybe just jump all in on a new map that no one really has a lot of experience on.
But that's how you get the upper hand. You got to jump in on Dust 2, conquer it early, make that maybe not your home map, but in your top 3, and then you got that map that almost everyone is going to eventually play. I don't
Abi
think it's
keşke
gonna be
oynamadık
advanced
biz
Nuke still in the rotation.
bu son ay hiç.
Well, in North America, everyone is advanced Nuke. I don't know how it is in Europe, but
It's largely the same.
Okay.
Very few teams actually are happy to play it.
Keş
And I
bizim
think
en
part
iyi
of it is too, is
ilk 3
even
map'imizden
teams
biriydi.
are otherwise okay playing it, they still sometimes feel like, well, if I have to go out, I'd rather go out playing a map that we play more often.
yeah, people want to stay away from Nuke even though they play it. That kind of gives you
Abi Nuke niye harita ki yani?
Now, Lurpus,
Hani 1.6'dan beri geldi de yani 1.6'da bile böyle oynamıyordum yani ben.
We do, and
Çok kötü harita ya.
in favor of Space Soldiers. The first one is Major's leadership. So we talked about it. He's been around for a very long time, and he's really the one who unlocked this roster to start playing at a
Üç
higher level.
neden
Some
Space
companies
Soldiers
previously was Solo and Zantares.
nasıl
Once he joined, they actually became much more
Space Soldiers'ın
The
yenme
number two reason
nasıl bunu şey
is their
yaparsın ya?
experience. So,
Bilmiyorum valla.
again, they've been together for a very long time. They mostly live in a team house in Turkey. Lots of experience playing
Macar'ın
playing together. They've attended a bunch of events in the last
acele
months
olması
especially.
bizi yeneceğimizi gösteriyor yani.
It's simply just Zantares.
Veya
I mean, this is on just another level from everybody else who's gonna be on the
tecrübemiz
server
veya Zantares
too. It
sayesinde
doesn't mean that
yeneceğiz.
he's gonna be carrying this particular match, but he's just the best player on the server, and that's always gonna have a huge impact on the result.
I mean, looking at Complexity, is there even a player on that team that is even a potential counter to Zantares?
a counter, maybe not, especially not within the rifling role. I think the best player on that team.
Zantares bugün 30 vurur abi bence.
I've had a lot
Easy
of stock
vurur.
in him since he got
Çok easy.
picked up in
Too easy.
ICS way back in
Vurur
the day.
abi.
It's been a while now, but he was always a solid talent, and I've always had a lot of faith in him as a player. I think he's super skilled. He plays smart. I know he studies the game because I talk to him frequently on Steam. So he's a student of the game, and he really wants to improve. So I would say Ye is probably the best bet, but he doesn't pick up main opping really anymore because they have Shazam now. So he'll flex off. So he can pick up that role, and I think the best way to shut down Zantares is to off him. You can't out rifle that dude.
Don't give him a chance to shoot.
Yeah, don't give him a chance to shoot.
So at this point, I think it's pretty safe to say where we're going with this one. But let's go ahead and do it anyway. Where are you going?
Look, man, I'm 0-4. I've already committed to the NA dream, so I'm going Complexity. Even though I know Space Soldiers is the better team, I'm going Complexity, baby.
I think that pink dye has bled into your skull.
They know where I've gone. My reasons are so that's fairly obvious.
0-6 dream, baby.
Abi Ace kral ya. Space Soldiers sıçacak ağzımıza diyor ama yine de diyor Amerikan takımıyla gitmem lazım diyor.
Now I have to actually.
Don't talk yourself down. If you go 0-9,
Okay.
we're in a conversation.
Ama biliyorum ya
Every
yani
single
Space
I'm gonna
yenecek
take
diyor.
that back. Continue.
I thought we were gonna get a pink beard for a second.
Bunlar caster olduğu için yani ülke seçemezler tabii ki de. Ve oyuncu olduğu için Amerika'yı seçti.
Is there any other reason but the passport that you hold?
No, there's
Pasaportundan başka hiç yani bir düşüncem var mı? Komplekse yeneceğini dahil diyor. Yok diyor. Amerikan olduğum için diyor Amerika takımı, yoksa başka bir şeyim yok diyor.
You had good players at the time though.
Don't do that.
Tarek.
Tarek was playing well at the time. JDM was doing.
No one saw it.
JDM was actually in his best. This was at the ESL event in July, early July 2015.
Abi Ace Kral da çok seviyorum.
In really good shape at the time. I think
Tarık'la hep takılıyor. FPL'de, Rankas'ta acayip şeyler dönüyor. Tarık'ın videolarını izlemiyorsanız abi izleyin. Çok eğlenceli. Allah'ım yarabbim ya. İlla anlatacaksın kendini. Şerefsiz bir de küfretmiş. Hadi uza kardeş.
Blue, come on, back me up, bro. Come on, come on.
Yeah, I don't.
Don't you say space soldiers?
I'm gonna go with Space Soldiers.
Everyone.
I'm with you, James.
Oh, you're with me?
Yeah, he's with you. Wait, you didn't get that?
No, I didn't.
I didn't pick up on that
I
either.
didn't pick up on it.
That's the Space Soldiers. They don't seem very North American, so I'm having trouble understanding how they're going to pull this one out.
Oh, I see. Okay, I misunderstood you. Thank you, Wonders. I knew
Team America.
we were meant to be together.
Team America. All right, guys, go ahead and take it away.
Turnuva tabii Amerikan turnuvası olduğu için casterları da şey oluyor, Amerikan oluyor. Abi tamam, RGB mekanik klavye almışsınız da bu mouse'lar ne? Sen bir de mouse olur. Şöyle diyeyim. Zanteres'in eli kırılsın. Majer alkollü olsun, yine de yenilmezler komplekse. Çünkü bunların hepsi bildiğim kadarıyla FPL oyuncusu. Yani öyle yani böyle çok bizi şaşırtacak plan falan yaptıklarını zannetmiyorum.
Down in the lower bracket.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, well.
Oğlum, sakin, sakin.
This doesn't play into your plan, does it?
Have this one and then.
Oh, okay, I see. So they can have it just for the sake of having the optic and complexity match tomorrow morning.
Who is that? Oh, it's Rambo.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's the coach.
Nice.
As we've seen Warden move into, I believe, more of a managerial role nowadays. So he's still part of the team. I think he's more of a manager nowadays, and obviously Rambo has kind of taken over the responsibilities from coach. That happened, I want to say, like 6 months ago or something like that.
19 yaşında dünyayı geziyor ya.
So he's with it for a while.
Kalix.
Complexity in general is an interesting
Buğra
story, right? Because
Erkin mi? Buğra bir şey.
has existed
Soy ismini bilmiyorum da.
for a very long time. Like the actual roster has never been dissolved at any point.
Abi
They have
artık
players on the
yani
roster that go all the way back to like early 2016.
Tier
They've
1
just been
takımlarını yeniyoruz ama
slowly
Land'da
trying
da
to
artık bir
shape
şeyler
it up.
yapmamız lazım.
Complexity to give
Tier
the
1 olmak için.
organization credit, they like
Lastik ya abi.
yeah,
Güzel
well,
mi?
I mean, to give the organization credit, like they stuck with this
Hadi bakalım.
roster for all that time, for like the last 2.5 years now, and finally they managed to pick up Stanislaw and getting a good IGL for them, along with having Shazam on the roster. They might be able to finally do something with this core 5, so it's going to be really cool to see how that plays out over the next couple of months now.
Absolutely, yeah. And, you know, that's one thing we know about Jason Lakes, that he loves Counter Strike. So it's, I guess, no surprise that he stuck around, but
Yeni oyuncuları ye.
how bad the results were for so long. But it's great that they finally got.
APC'leri falan Shazam var ama yani kötü oyuncu ya. Majer baitliyor. Hadi artık bir şey yapın ya. Glock'la midden vurmayacağınız ya anasınız. Biraz. Tamam. Hadi kendilerini flashladılar.
site after some delay. It's a bit of a whip from Engine there as he had a great opportunity to try to knock off some heads, and it's not going to work out. Dev takes him down. Shazam
Abi
also
Engin
finds
abi
himself a pickup too, bringing the Space Soldiers roster down to just 3. Zantares is also very low, and only 10 HP to try to play off.
Kalix gel kanka geri.
They're going to look for a way to get back into the site, but it's been very well controlled from Complexity. This is going to be tough for them. Shazam finding another kill for himself.
Abi bir tane bile vuramadı. Allah'ım yarabbim.
Paz doesn't stand a chance now as Android closes it out, and Complexity will take control of the opening round.
Abi Engin'in orada Engin abinin orada şey yapması, bir tane bile vuramamız kötü oldu. Abi kimse vuramadı ki. Engin değil sadece. Baz AP için pek şey yapıyor. Seviliyor. AK'ye çekmişler 2 tane.
They actually pushed directly through with not a whole lot of utility supporting them. One flashbang goes out through mid. They've got that control, and now they set up the smoke as if to do a mid to B, and that's actually not going to be the plan. They're going to try to get a little bit tricky with this.
Standard set of affairs for Complexity. This is the Dust 2 we know and love. Work on lower B control, move into cats, clear things out. Not necessarily make a decision. Major with 3 flashed opponents. Does 90 and
hadi bir tane daha. Hadi daha. Ay. Çok güzel şey geldi de vuramadı yine Macar. Ah be. Lan Kalix. Vuran abi. Ah.
Android takes him down with one more shot from the AK, securing the 2-0. But obviously, still can consider that a success for Space Soldiers, considering they knock out 4 to 5 players.
At the very least, they know that Complexity will have, or sorry, Complexity will know at the very least that Space Soldiers won't have very much money, but the amount of damage that Space Soldiers did is going to be gratifying for them, and they're going to definitely see that impact, especially if this eco doesn't go as planned as well. One player crossing is going to activate a Mewtwo, actually. I think they wanted to bait into a B site hit by crossing late, but that didn't work, and Shazam finishes off Major.
Android as well, knocking out Paz up on top. We'll see Jaeger up in a second here too, as they're just going to go for a quick push on Cap. They might actually miss the push coming through the mid doors, which could open up a little bit of a flank against them. Stanislaw, I think nearly 100 naded. Zantares there. One more still sitting inside of CT, and we quickly managed as well. It's just Engine, who did complete that flank from middle, but is not in a position, sadly, where he can really do all that much. Shazam gets the jumping scout shot to finish things off as he eliminates Engine and puts Complexity well in control now at 3-0.
And we got Dust 2 and jumping on scout shot. Really rolling back the year.
Feeling like 2016 all of a sudden.
Yeah. And it's cool to see that we Space Soldiers seem to have some tricks, if not new tricks, just kind of fresh ones. With the late baits at mid, good old op cross that you have to deal with. Towards the end of Old Dust 2, we saw a lot of nades to make that possible.
Vanteres mid oyuncumuz. Kalix A, Engin B. Macar bekliyor. Fazla cat oyuncu. Short oyuncu.
Still waiting down the timer at this point, however. Over a minute remaining. They are finally going to start to, looks like anyway, move in for a little bit of mid-control. Zantares is here to put a stop to that, and the smoke actually goes up a little bit higher.
Osmo bilerek mi atla?
Major holds off the first player trying to push back in, but yeah, Zantares gets overwhelmed after the fact. Major though moving back out from
Girme. Niye böyle bir şey yapıyoruz abi? Kalix alırsa alacağız lazım da. Lazım. Clutch Master abi. Clutch Master. Da Paz niye öyle pushladı abi?
Complexity were actually going to take that home. I mean, Def being very patient about the second kill as well. The awareness was there. You got to love the smoke that lands on top of the box, along with the mid to B, just for the extra insurance. And you can never be too careful, especially with the way that people were playing around that on Old Dust 2. And Sam once again picking the cross. Kind of a tough spot here for Space Soldiers somehow, who have decided to favor utility but only have the Falmuses. Fortunately, there are a lot of fights that you could find on this map that don't have extremely.
Çok zor oldu ya. Paz'ın öyle smoke'tan geçmesini anlayamadım.
That being said, they've kind of crowded themselves a little bit. They don't have long control. They don't have short control, which I always kind of vibe for one or the other, and instead have actually worked their way back to mid. So this is another kind of adjustment that you can make for safety, but that leaves A a little bit weaker if Complexity find this out.
Continuing to be the favorite spot for Complexity to try and forge kind of a staging ground off of here. They are going to start to make a push towards A more than likely, splitting a couple players back towards the long doors. A few more trying to push towards Cat. It's Shazam mainly at the forefront of this push right now. But he's been brought down low from nades and other fire that he's gotten into so far in this round. He's at a 32 HP. Really can't afford to go poking out through the smoke right now at the risk of being spammed. So he's going to fall back, group up with the rest of his team. Same is true for Stanislav. He's not really too keen on pushing up towards Cat at this point either. In fact, they're moving over towards the upper halls right now to look for an option into the B site maybe. And we could be seeing a quick switch up from Complexity. So instead take things over to B, where I think the original plan was to go in A.
B geliyorlar abi. Kalix hadi bakayım. Famas var. Famas. Lan. Lan Zanteres. Oh. Zanteres hala ölmemiş. Ben öldü zannettim oğlum.
Stanislav knows he can't win this with only 10 seconds remaining, so we'll back up outside
the
the
corner to
save this AK. The round's going to Space
easy.
Soldiers, and they're one away from tying this up at 3-all.
It's a real risk that you have to be willing to take to walk out into B, and you know they decided to do that. And I guess the main thing is if you work on middle, you want to go.
Helal lan Türkler var.
That's one choice that you probably want to make most of the time, kind of like hitting B on cobble. But then once in a while, you've got to throw these in to keep your opponents on their feet.
Full headshot ya.
I think unfortunately for Complexity, they had. It was Space Soldiers to be so aware of the fact that that might be a possibility. So now they're probably going to go back to the drawing board, maybe not throw that in.
Kalix'in Zanteres old big go A dit.
Some kind of fake and potentially hope on dragging Space Soldiers back to mid more, but it seems like they're moving very fluidly at the moment, which is a good sign.
Soldiers do call for the pause. First pause being used by them early on here, as we should have another reinvestment coming in from. Actually, no, we're not at all in this round. They're still 2K, so they can't even afford it at this point. We're still going to be looking at a relatively easy round for the Space Soldiers here. Stanislav is carrying that AK in from the previous round.
Can't but help but think that both teams were totally prepared to play this map. I mean, first of all, not banning it. I mean, that's a pretty big sign right there. As he was setting up at long, we saw him move between A and middle on round 5.
Biraz şey başladık ama. Öyle pasif başladık ama. Şimdi elleri alışsın. Zanteres başlamaya başladı zaten. Şu klimayı biraz daha açacağım.
Currently we're seeing a whole lot in terms of aggression from the CT's engine just constantly holding, although now goes for the peak. It's all for intel though. He's not actually trying to posture for a kill at this point. He's back away now, however, as the push is going to be coming through. Let's see how many he can handle. Got one going for himself. The flash assist from a teammate. He's going to net him 2 more. Paz chimes in for number 4, and Stanislav was supposed to lurk back over onto the cat.
Round bitmiş.
Secondary
Güzel.
entry point, but it's not going to work
Gümüş
out
almış.
now. Just going to slowly walk up towards it, see if he can get himself a kill. Play it from there. I think he pretty much expects to get traded. He even left the bomb outside of the A doors. There's not much of an end game play here from Stan, sadly.
Yeah, not many options at all, unfortunately. It was meant to work as some kind of lurk, but that's another confidently played round from Space Soldiers, who are doing a pretty fantastic job of recovering here early in the first half.
Abi flash peeklerimiz çok iyi bu aralar ha.
Tied up, and there is still
Short'ta yaptığımız
no
o
op option for Complexity.
flash peek.
Everybody with full utility.
Bu aralar çok iyi
And
yapıyoruz onları.
another default on T side. Long doors has been intruded. We have players in lower, Major, I think. I don't know if he spotted him. He's going to try to land a nicely placed grenade. Actually, instead fall back.
And again, Complexity to set up into a default here, but as they eventually move to group up now, with time getting a little bit lower in mid, they're going to start to push forward and take control. Where that's going to go yet is obviously yet to be seen.
Lan 3 kişi var
Judging
orta.
from their current
Görmedik
positions, as they are still pretty much into the basic default. Hasn't shaped up towards it much just yet, but again, still a minute and 10 seconds left in the round, so plenty of time for that adjustment to come through. They are posturing up for cat pressure here, trying to push Paz back more than anything else, I do believe. It succeeds in doing so after the flash comes out, tries to hit a timing shot, and then bails away down to CT, leaving only Engine up on the platform.
Yeah. So doing the simple things in the default here, pushing people off of positions, now have finally gotten cat control. 45 seconds remaining, and that means a decision is going to have to come in soon.
Bacon.
Space Soldiers are fully aware of the fact that this threat is a potentiality, and Paz is jumping out of default to make sure that he can't get mollied out and might get shot while jumping. It's still a pretty similar angle from back here. He's just more committed now to defending against this push.
Amaçlarını şu an anlayamadım.
Shows up and it's from the CT side. Zantara is knocking out.
Ne isti yaptı bunu?
Shazam finding a trade, but just like that,
B'ye
hold on,
gelecek.
Shazam finding quite a bit of entry power actually. It's left Calyx just
Calyx
sitting
hemen
alone
sıkma.
inside of the B bomb site. It's gonna hold quick.
tane,
Knocks out Shazam, however, as he tries to work his way, but at the same time can't maintain against the two-man push that comes against him. They should have had just enough time to put this bomb onto the ground. And there you go. Complexity start the timer now, working into their favor as we go to a 2v2 post plant. For Stan, this will be very aggressive. He goes outside, even with an assist.
Oh boy, this flash is going to cascade right through Paz's crosshair. He's fully aware of that, but somehow misses a shot. And off the fluff, they both capitalize.
It just works out that well for Complexity. Both the kills are found at pretty much the exact same time. Shazam, of course, gets the gold medal for this round just off of his entry power coming in through mid there. Cleared a path to the B-bomb site where prior to that, Complexity pretty much had nothing going into their favor in that round. Really opened up a hole for them to try and bring it back, as otherwise that would have been an easy hold from Space Soldiers.
Yeah, Shazam's been having one hell of a game, and he's been rifling, I think, for a lot of it as well. So yeah, finding these exploits in the mid rounds and really punishing the Space Soldiers has been huge. Decent spam through the door. Actually doesn't reward him with that much damage somehow. 3 to 4, and Space Soldiers are low on utility. Majors just saw this cross. Doesn't want to give up the shot though in case there's another opportunity.
Solda lan, solda.
I think like he's aiming for the jump right there. Finally tries to hit the spam.
Hoping he had tucked away in the corner, but that's not the case. He's backing away behind the car. He's just misjudged the depth of where his opponent's actually at. Paz certainly hears, I believe, the push coming at him from Cat. Doesn't get a spot on any of those players. Has Complexity call off whatever they were about to do and instead just go back to stack up at mid again. Yay, maybe going to make a little bit of a push to the mid doors here too. More likely we'll need utility on that though.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting because it seemed like they were going to run right into the trap of Space Soldiers, which was have a op at long and one at Markolov watching Cat. But they're going right out for that mid to B. Back to what works.
And then they're going to go Calyx right now here to defend it. Only has the support of Xantares with him. Push is going to come in relatively quickly. Yay. Knocks out Xantares, and it's not much longer before he finds Calyx too. He only finds a single trade on a Stanislaw, so Complexity are looking good to hold on to this site. And in fact, it's not even looking like Space Soldiers are going to attempt much of a retake here. They are backing away towards T-spawn now. Sadly, they've been outmatched, and there's just too many numbers working against them inside of that B site.
It's unclear what tipped them off as to what the setup was at A, but maybe it was simply the fact that they saw the one op at long. They decided, yeah, let's not prod around here. Last round was really good. We know Xantares and Calyx are both playing B, but hey, as long as they give up middle, then we can actually perform this split. And I think that they had a good read. Yeah, they knew that middle was open. They've constantly killed people either coming through the smoke or in CT spawn. So this is the big problem for Space Soldiers, and there's a lot of incentive right now for them to throw one of these ops at the mid doors, keep them dedicated. As if, say, an op, say Calyx was sitting in the window at B watching the mid run out, he would have been able to get a kill, if not two. Call for rotates early, so a lot of reason for them to do to go and try that.
So into the next round we go. Space Soldiers still keeping their buy in check for now, even with Complexity now shooting ahead. At that time, it's going to run out very soon for Space Soldiers. We'll be looking at them pretty much on full ecos relatively shortly. Right after this round, if we don't start to see them finally put some numbers onto the board here and come back into the situation, as Complexity has once again taken full control. This time they are going to try to play a little bit more directly. They've always been kind of just playing into that default posturing up in mid, but at least at the beginning of this round, it was looking like they're going to try to get out towards long. there's a lot of resistance coming in from the CT, so they might have to call it off. And indeed, yeah, they give this up. They know it's not going to be easy to get out there, so they decided to take another path instead.
One that leads him to Cat. Shazam to lead the charge. Xantares to not fall victim to another one of those high pressure B hits again. This time he's up close, ready to pounce. Major is also getting kind of aggressive. Peering over the box. That was once Bricks with his op. This Complexity Turtle.
Pixel perfect angle to try and play off of, but he misses the opening shot. Loses 80 of his HP in the process and is now forced back down to CT. Complexity managed to get that reward at least, but again, there's hesitance on actually pushing into the site. They want to wait till the perfect opportune moment, and in fact, they're sending the bomb again up towards the B site currently. Heading through the upper tunnels, they still have the presence from Ye on Cap, but there's that mid to B smoke. Now they're going to go. Xantares in a bit of a different position this time, but it is still a position that's more than likely going to get checked. He needs to be ready to fight immediately, and actually, no, it doesn't get checked initially. Ye finds the trade, but Calyx gets himself a lineup through the tunnels. Ye's at 10 HP, so he's also dead to Calyx, and as far as Shazam's concerned, he's well alone here in mid, and while he'll find one more pickup, Paz takes him down, and Space Soldiers will get that fourth round.
There's that individual presence shining through. I mean, the fact that Xantares decided to play his position a little bit differently helped as well. The UMP spray of Calyx being on point. It's nice that he played that up close angle to B tunnels where the damage drop off would have been significantly worse if he played from back at the Xbox or any other spot really. And overall, I mean, they were the defenses started to become calcified in the sense that they are figuring out like what the best small changes they need to make are to be able to stop the split. I mean, this is what they talked about last round. So as much as Complexity want to abuse this thing that's working for them, if they continue to do it and it's too similar, well, Space Soldiers are just going to get better at holding it. As long as you give them credit for being smart people.
Xantares again, challenging towards mid early on. Xantares even getting himself the opening kill against Shazam too. Now they're just going to double down. They know this has been the constant play so far for Complexity. Nice swing from Paz right onto Ye's head. As Complexity are already down to just 3, now 2, as Engine's found another pickup. Android tries to change his team's fate, but it is not going to work. Stan, at the very least, gets himself an entry over towards the A site, and he can probably find a plant, too. That's a bit of a switch up based on the way things have been going. But Stanislaw at least brings a little bit of firepower to the fight, along with the plant to give him the extra money. The pole, though, in post-plant, is going to be near impossible to pull off. He is immediately taken down upon first contact. Calyx gets that kill, and Space Soldiers will tie us up at 5-2.
Less than winnable rounds and a good cleanup from Space Soldiers, and if I'm Complexity right now, I'm really worried because I've only been able to get away with mid to Bs. A couple have failed, and it was the first one and the most recently the last one. So I would say that's out of the playbook for the rest of the half unless you have some kind of elaborate fake to really pull that off again, but make it seem to Space Soldiers as if there's no chance of doing it. But they've already done the deep CT smoke with the drop off. Like, they've tried fakes to get there, right? So like, if I'm Space Soldier, I'm basically not rotating. That actually plays into your favor if you're Complexity because you can use that fear to make A little bit weaker. Maybe try to pull them into a 2-1-2. That being said, again, mid to B is probably off the table.
Once again, Complexity trying to go for more direct entries so far here. Just bursting out through mid and long doors, and it does not work even close to it. Closest they get is bringing Paz down to 5 HP. Stanislaw at the very least, again, doing a bit of work here as he finds the only kill in the round. But he will also quickly be traded out this time. Doesn't even get close to the plant. The Space Soldiers now take the lead at 6-5, and their money starts to grow quite a bit too.
Yeah, that's going to be nice for them in these last couple of rounds. And I think what's also scary is we just think about all these rounds that in the mid round ended up on Cat and them having to peek into an op or begin to think about taking an op duel or one with a rifle versus an op, and it's like, well, how are they actually going to break past that barrier? Like, how do they actually get from Cat to the A site? You know, what's their full-on A hit? Do they have one? Are they going to fall short? And I think that's what we're going to find out this round.
Good.
As well, getting the lockdown on the Stanislaw. We're not going to see any late round kills from him this time. Complexity. Still trying to test it. It's good that Paz misses the shot as Shazam comes right back at him with one of his own. And it is actually hits. Paz is going to go down, and we're quickly locked into another even battle, 4v4.
Oh, it looks like they're actually posturing up for a similar hit.
Smoke'tan gir.
At least it's worked for them in the past, and it's going to be much less defended now they found the trade on a Paz. Calyx, he could get timing caught here too, and indeed he does. Android runs out just as he's got a nade in hand. Xantares, sadly, on the outside of the door, is not able to swing back in and retake that control. So they're down to just Engine and Major, both pretty heavily split up. and will more than likely be looking at a save once again, just because of the odds stacked against them.
Damn, I'm definitely eating my words here. I didn't expect them to try to do it again, let alone win. And so that's extremely nice. It seemed like they got a bit sloppy. Stanislaw peeking cat versus the op at mid, and it was kind of an angle that I think that I've seen fights from before. So a bit surprised at that, especially with no utility support. But they managed the trade. Shazam pulls off a fantastic trade, and they bring it right back. So it's gonna be nice to even up.
Engine's gonna end up fighting for survival a little bit here too. He's smart though. He knows it's not a fight he can win in the long term. So he backs away into the A doors, where he's going to be pretty much confirmed safe here. Saves the AK at the very least. The money for Space Soldiers is good, but obviously it doesn't hurt to try and save yourself a little bit of extra cash in the long run here, as it's not at a crazy point just yet. They've got enough for 1 full rebound each player. Stretching it if we say they have 2. So having that extra money just to toss the AK back over to a teammate is certainly going to help.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Shazam
So I guess the ball is in Space Soldiers' court. Do they want to
play
a standard setup like they have
abi.
been? Rely heavily on the ops with the double ops, which, I mean, there's a lot of incentive to not move, actually, to make sure that you have your kind of pawns in front of your more expensive units to make sure that they can stay alive. But at the same time, you know, you don't want to like spend the mid round being too static and predictable.
Pressure coming off once again, and Paz bailing out from the top player. The A bomb site, leaving only really 1 player to defend it, but that drop off happens way too prematurely, so Paz is gonna have plenty of time to readjust and get back up on top to the A site. Complexity, I don't even think we're even close to getting ready to execute there. They're still sat back in their mid setup right now.
Şu midi bir tutamıyoruz abi lan. Round'un altında mid aldılar.
Start to adventure towards Cat though. I don't think we've ever actually seen them. Maybe once or twice they've fully committed to Cat. For the most part, they've always just thrown a little bit of aggression here and then ended up backing away about 10 to 15 seconds later.
Yeah.
But it does look like this time, I don't want to say they're doing it yet though, because this is the same exact thing that's happened every single time.
It's kind of like long Aeon, or sorry, Aeon Cobble, where teams will just go there, clear it out, because it's very easy to get CTs to fall off, because it's not
Oğlum bunlar ya mid'de B ya mid'de A yapıyorlar.
5 cat play.
Major gets the nice spot in through the smoke to be able to find Ye. Finds the kill there. Engine's stuck in a corner. It's a good thing the volley isn't spread, but he backs up into it anyway. He loses 70 of his HP. And Android's found another kill for the side of Complexity. Things are going well their way. The trades, however, they've got to be careful. That Shazam with another great shot on entry. Knocks out Xantares, leaving only Calyx alive on rotate. He's going to quickly swing in from Cat. Look for the capability to clutch out this 1v2. Trading out the op for an AK on the way over as well. He's going to play with the rifle instead. As in he goes. He's only got a smoke to play off of. Immediately snaps to Android's position. Oh, but he finds Shazam first. Android is there for the trade, though, so Complexity still wins the round when it comes down to the 1v1. Push ahead now. It's 7-6.
7-6. Yeah, this is a strong performance right now. So that's cool. And they've opened up Cat as well to their playbook and to Space Soldiers in terms of what they have to be afraid of. And Shazam looking like he's playing quite champions.
Shazam taşıyor şu an.
Jumping all over the place. Yeah, just playing with the railgun. Shazam gets himself a tag this time too through the door. Knocking Xantares down to 28 HP right at the start of the round. Not like he would have been much of a threat anyway, but this at least makes it a little bit easier to finalize things. As we are going to see Complexity pretty much just walk right into the B site this time. Only Calyx to defend it. It's a full eco from Space Soldiers anyway. So I'd say this is going to be a pretty easy 8th round for Complexity.
Out, but no one's really surprised, but even still, Def gets killed. Quick headshot.
A good opportunity to save the Space Soldiers roster. Just a little bit of cash here if Major can take this in. Engine as well takes them the entire clip. Not the cleanest CZ kill we've ever seen, but it gets the job done. Knocks out Ye. Oh, Android there to trade it though. He's not able to put that second kill up onto the board. Major's going to make a run for it. Just try to head over to the long pit instead. I think he'll be relatively safe here. It doesn't look like anyone from Complexity is going to be able to make it over there in time.
How badly does Major have to save this AK in terms of their economy? Okay, they've got the money to do it. It's just that special weapon that you want to have.
I think it more so makes it more safe to buy an op in this round too, just because now they don't have to like risk it or anything like that. They should be able to get an op on the board. In fact, they get 2 ops onto the board now because of that. Both Paz and Calyx are going to be able to pick one up because of the extra money.
No, it's better than 1 op.
2?
2, yeah. Big mess. Early.
We'll dive into the final round of the first half here. Again, Shazam trying his luck with the timing shot on opener. A little bit early this time, though. Not going to find a connection here. But what we do see is Complexity.
Salaklar 10 tane flash.
Failing to account for
Bir
Major,
tane
though, he
aldı
swings
sanırım.
around that smoke. Good adjustment from Ye, finds the trade quickly, but it does bring us down to a 4v4, and these CTs have to quickly react. They don't know if it's a full commitment yet, though. That's the problem. There was a lot of confusion on that A long push. They know for certain they've got at least 2 to 3 guys out here, but the bomb could still be lurking in mid as far as they're aware.
Yeah, the smoke is huge because it allows Engine to cross, and there was a window of opportunity where he could cross without being seen, but now he knows. And also, they don't know that he has crossed, so they're going to have to worry about Car this whole time.
Pikleme.
Oh,
Pikleme.
oh, he baits it. Oh boy, playing with fire for real.
Took him a couple tries, but it gets the job done. Zentari's still holding in mid too, cuts off the push from Stan, so now they should know. Paz with a great shot in the fadeaway, going for one more right up close on Android as he knocks him out. Just Shazam left now, but Engine will take care of that for him. The Space Soldiers do bring it back, neck and neck now. It's 7-8 at halftime.
Damn, this is a really tight half. I mean, this is pretty cool. It seems like both teams are quite prepared, and it's looking a lot like Dust 2. You know, it's looking a lot like Dust 2 in the sense that they've even bringing out the advanced Dust 2 stuff with the cat drop fakes and stuff like that, the old stuff that Freework used to do when on an IP, which made popular. And I think there was a certain point where that became a little bit too predictable, but if once you wait long enough and people don't expect it anymore, it's totally chill to bring it back. I think on a map especially that's as simple as Dust 2, just making sure to change up your game plan every once in a while. You can go back to old stuff, even if it's a little bit gimmicky, and we saw a lot of cool tricks from both sides. So that's really what is going to separate any teams on Dust 2 because of how simplistic the overall strategy is in terms of what you can and can't do as a CT&T. Really have been there, done that kind of map.
Yeah, we did see towards like the middle and the end of the half, like Complexity was kind of running out of ideas in terms of an execute. They constantly like just played into that default. They did finally kind of come up with some better ideas towards the end. We finally got the courage, I think, to push up towards Cat, and then we saw the long push in the final round as well, where previously it had just been like almost exclusively the mid to B plays that would have been working for them.
Yep. The very evergreen mid to B play.
So we've got Ye getting himself into a long range duel here.
He has every right to take that fight.
Against Zentars. It gets quite a bit of damage off too. It's just obviously going to be pretty hard to knock off someone's head at that distance. The USP.
They're also going to be using a lot of their ammo. I mean, that might actually come into play. Got a man at elbow and a Cat setup. It's really on depth to try to stay alive in this situation.
Alın hadi.
Oh, but he has a teammate with him at the very least.
That's going to Goosh Shazam now waiting for the push to come to the site. He'll be Gooshed as well, down to 1 HP, and Stan not looking much better, just sitting into the corner. It's overwhelming numbers for Space Soldiers that gets them control of the A-bombs. Like that and Complexity's so far inability to find any headshots. Major finally takes down Shazam, and Ye, well, he's actually going to run right up to the site. Completely unexpected. He shows up all of a sudden, but they still manage him quite easily. Paz with a newly armed USP knocks him out, and it's a clean pistol from Space Soldiers to immediately tie the game up.
Yeah, party's over once he gets there, so it's really a joint effort to make sure that there's somewhat close to a reasonable duel to have when you're, you know, in the 1vx. But no, the 1v5 is too much to ask, obviously. And I think Complexity have decided to upgrade some pistols, but not get half armor. It's gonna be a key point for them. I think if you spend all your money on the second round as a CT, you're not gonna have enough money to get all the grenades you want on the third round. So it's important to always be conscious.
Zentars does spot the lineup of players on the left side of this push here. Does still get traded after the initial kill. And now even worse, Paz is going to control this, but he gets a nice double kill lined up against both Stan and Shazam. Still very low, though. He's got to find a way out of here. That's where the smoke comes in. Oh, there's a big hole in it, though. They got to use a second one to get across. Android knows they're going to go for it. Just tries to quickly sweep across the smoke pattern, but he misses his chance. Unable to take him down. In the meantime, though, Ye has once again shown up in a bit of a surprise, but at the same time, Calyx has that massive control up on Cat. It was left completely undefended, so he just walks right in, and that's going to leave only Android left alive.
Yeah, imagine if Calyx actually got beasted right here. It's one-tap potential. And Android will happily aimbots this fight, but and now the bomb's gone down and enough time was bought. It's he knows that the flank's coming in. There's no reason not to just go ahead and test him.
A little bit too much of an emphasis on that one area of the map. Sally just leaves the gates open. I'm going to take the bomb over to B and find an easy plant there. One more full save to be seen from Complexity, and then we should be able to see them buy up after the fact. Just going to buy into a couple upgraded pistols this time, as they spent very little money on the last round as well, so they can afford to do that. So yeah, a little bit more firepower.
You know, on the one hand, you look at that last round, you think, okay, if they had gotten armor, full armor, they might have had a better chance to win. Maybe they could have actually turn that round over. But sometimes you don't win those rounds, and what they get instead is a second chance to buy pistols, because that 650 you would spend on armor on the first round, you can now turn that into maybe a deagle buy or a CZ and flash or something like that.
So even with the redoubled pistol investment for Complexity, not much being found besides one trade so far against Calyx, and the good damage done to Xantares. Space Soldiers very much adopting the default we were seeing a lot from Complexity in the first half. They just play it slow right here. More so to watch out and make sure Complexity aren't going to try anything tricky on them like that. As Android quickly dispatches of Major, trying to move through the mid doors. Well, Android, if he plays this right, he can spot the entire player right now. Just a matter of getting players to the A site. Those once again, they've left it completely undefended. They have to try and quickly rotate back over, but they're not going to be able to get anyone up on platform. They have to try and defend from CT, which that alone is enough of a bother.
Oh boy.
Force them to play incredibly passively here now and just hope they can get lucky on the retake.
They've got pressure from every retake angle. I mean,
they're aware of it though. They're watching out for it.
Oh.
Usually when they catch you off guard with it, that it surprises you. But the 2-for-1 trade, only one remains, and they've got two deagles pointed at it, so it's going to be an easy closeout from Android as he does massive work, ends up with a 4K on the round, and Complexity completely upset round on pretty much a full eco besides upgraded pistols, and now tie it back up again at 9-9.
That was a really unbelievable play. I mean, that deagle 4K, it was all those headshots, and this is definitely the potential. I think there's one player I didn't mention at the beginning of the game, but he is somebody who has always had a ton of potential on Complexity that is just really needs to be activated. And damn.
This last one, it's just a matter of kind of hunting it down right there. Paz knew it as well. Knew he was locked out of that situation. Could have tried to play maybe a little bit more patiently there, but decided to go for it, and sadly loses his head as a result. Pause is called. I believe that is going to be coming in from the Space Soldiers side. Indeed, there it is on the screen now. It's their second pause being used so far. They want to be sure of everything going into this before the first gun round begins.
So Major looks around, he goes, guys, we need to do a bit better. just do a bit better, guys.
You gotta step it up. It's actually, everybody's pretty much like dead even in terms of kills on Space Soldiers right now.
Yeah,
there's
like actually Major is like, I need to do a little bit better.
It's actually Major, yeah. Everybody has between 11 and the 13 kills, so it's a team effort right now from Space Soldiers.
All right.
Check
3 in lower tunnels. Shazam with the op at close mid, can't fall back. There's a wall beside him. But Android's here for support to make sure that nobody can take over the op, and if any kill comes out, that they'll be confirmed.
Android thankfully stepping up to the plate there, finds the trade kill, and also forces back Space Soldiers behind the mid doors once again. So much so that the CTs are going to get aggressive, but that comes back to bite them, and could even do worse. Android makes the safe decision here, backs away, but gets spammed again. Now to the 7 HP. He's lucky that that door still eats up so much of the damage that is spammed through it. He's back around. He finds the kill on Xantares, and Engine should now go down because the attention was drawn back towards mid. It's perfect timing from Complexity to net them 2 more kills, take back the man advantage control as well.
Bu round'u almamız lazım abi.
Wow. Yeah, you could see he was creeping up into Paz's ankle. This round is not quite over. Android is so low on HP. I mean, he's really got to make a play right now. Working in between the door, manages to stay alive. It's a retake situation, but he gets the Molotov off. He stays alive, and they know that now it's a 3v2 with an op on the board.
The Molotov did bounce a little bit further than I think he wanted it to go, however, so he ends up not dealing any damage with it as the planter can just stay right in the corner. That's Major, and that's exactly what he's going to continue to do, is play into this safe corner right on top of the bomb, wait for Complexity to move back in. They don't have a lot of utility to retake this site with. Android's really the only one with any, and he's just got an HE and a smoke grenade, which isn't going to be entirely useful in this situation, especially with the time they have left. Stanislaw immediately knocked out. They've seen the door push, and Paz locks onto that one. Android finds 1 kill, but he needs a quick second one, and he's not going to be able to put it together. Paz knocks it out, and Space Soldiers will now take the lead again at 10-9.
Man, the fact that he stayed alive to have that impact, almost do it one more time, I mean, it's just crazy. It would have been a shining moment, I think, for Android, but his teammates couldn't help him out a little bit more in that retake. It was nice spots being held by Space Soldiers, really good shots, obviously, headshots instantly upon first contact, and that's tough, but it was an excellent effort at the very least. Long control. Space Soldiers start to work their way out.
Şu şahsımı var ya bulacaksın. Maçtan sonra.
Much of an information tell.
Ağzını burnunu kıracaksın ya.
Besides the fact that you got a very good player off the board.
Major, though, locks on to Shazam's head when he sees him overpeaking just a little bit towards long there. Oh, great flash assist as well. Gonna let Engine walk right in. He had a second player blinded at platform.
Lan sağında adam var.
Now, they don't actually realize his position, so he puts 3 kills together. Major, Engine, and Paz all of a sudden go down to him, leaving Calyx alone in a 1v2. And he's got his own problems to worry about. The smoke at mid is going to restrict his vision against Android here, but he catches him on the way out with another headshot on the Deagle. Putting Complexity back into a tied situation yet again.
Damn, what a play from Ye. Up on the sight box.
Engin
3K
vuramadı ya.
spray down with the M4. Let's watch it back. Oof. That's juicy. You know what you really did for your team there. So that's got to feel good for everybody, knowing that each individual effort is really showing up. And again, the match is tied one more time. I mean, this game could not be closer.
10-10 is what we were
Yine mi
looking at.
şey aldık?
Again, Space Soldiers will use a pause. It's the 3rd out of their 4th pause. They've got 1 more remaining following this. Discussing things once again, seeing what went wrong. Their economy is dead in the water right now. The best thing they're going to have is they do decide to force into it. It's pretty much just going to be CZs. They do manage to get at least an AK together on Xantares, but that's it.
This could actually be a turning point. I mean, from that 2v4, right? This could be a huge turning point for Complexity in this game. Space Soldiers invest what they have. 4 players have now decided to go into the tunnels with 1 outside of long. There might be a flash here to help them make their way out of lower. The Xbox smoke has been thrown, and their intentions are unclear.
Def. Pick up as well. Doesn't find it. Gone fishing right now.
Flash atan hadi.
However. Could potentially still spot a quick boost up to try and get cap control. There we go. There's the shot he was looking for. See if he can get 1 more. There's a lot around here. There's a second. Both have been collaterals as well, or at least through some kind of cover. Def gets himself a 3rd as well, but finally will end up going down. The Deagle from Major. There's a good read here too. Yeah, to catch Ye moving back out through the long doors. Space Soldiers, instead of continuing to just aggressively push forward, take that mid control and take a step back, realize that Complexity will have all this map control and they're going to try and use it.
Ekipmanlarında mı sorun var?
Instead, they go back, they watch for the flank, and it gets them under the kill to now even the situation up in 2v2.
Yeah, you
Vuramıyorlar
want to give
çünkü
a back kill, especially if the round gets converted. But see why the confidence is high. It's just, you know, this is obviously the point where you tighten up and not get more aggressive when you have that man advantage. And they've actually picked the site where Complexity have a weaker player, and Android's going to get a little bit of damage in, but the rotate is very far away in this 2v2. Oh, the flash is straight, however, and somehow Android gets his. Shazam here to watch the cross. Will he find the shot? He's looking for it. Early cross. Op shot rings off, but Major's going to get a plant, and you better believe he has an advantage in this 1v1.
Shazam just throwing out all of his utilities. He races over to the B-bomb site. Last flash now gone. Trying to spam it at the door, hoping he would have gotten lucky in finding Major inside of the smoke, ready to duel against him, but that's not the case. He's gonna try to take him down as he swings around the corner, but it doesn't happen. Major takes him out. And again, Space Soldiers will be able to push ahead. It's just back and forth again. So we've only seen Space Soldiers be the only team to win more than 1 round in a row, and that was only at the beginning when they won the first 2. Then they got ecoed in the 3rd, and we have been going back and forth since then.
It's really this kill from Ye is getting kind of
O
egregiously pushed along, and that analysis only works in retrospect, obviously, but if you think about it, it just didn't need to happen, right? If you have the man up in this round that Def does 350 damage with
Android'in
they still lose.
Shazam'ın AP'si Android'in Deagle'ı bizi bitirdi ya.
As well, taking the B sites, push them out.
Taking B control incredibly quickly this time as well. Space Soldiers waste no time, just pretty much rushing out through the tunnels. Very direct push. I think they might have known they had him down to an eco as well. So Shazam is already just the last man standing. He's not going to stay that way for long. Xantares knocks him out with a mid push. And finally, we've got a team winning more than 1 round in a row. Space Soldiers pushing up to 12. And they still have Complexity completely broken. They're still at around 2K on average. They really can't buy in here at all.
You can really see Major
O kadar ileri geri gittik artık paraları yok.
I think he smells blood, realizing that they actually had to pull off the save, and now they've taken a lead when it should have been this score line in Complexity's favor. What a tragic way to lose, honestly, at this point. And again, it is a double eco, so that round couldn't have been worth more.
Complexity not even going to put a man on the A site, just sticking every single player at the mid doors. Oh, and they're going to make a push too. It's a train! Major, however, is going to detach two.
Ah, ace gelir mi
Kark
diyecek.
says he knocks them out, but not before getting traded by Def at the end of the day. He'll take out Major. Quickly, we've got Stanislav moving into position, but obviously with just the USP, there's not much that can be done. Def did retrieve the AK, but he's way gone over on the B-bomb sit, looking to save that, as they know this round can't be won.
A little bit of damage would be nice, at the very minimum. And as for Def, I mean, he's just going to want to turn tail and run. Save this AK.
I do appreciate the caution from Calyx there to throw away his AK just in the event that he got taken down by Shazam and had to get like close to him or something like that.
Yeah, it's not something you normally see.
Yeah. At the very least,
That's actually kind of weird. I mean, he could have just had a teammate fight that, maybe just
I think
not
he knew,
risk dying.
I think he knew he was low, that's why.
Who?
Shazam.
Okay.
So I think that's why he threw it down on the ground, because he knew he only needed the pistol to take him out.
The tough part was he wasn't giving him. He was making sure to hold on to those headshot fights that would get some crowd, or just Turkish fans, or just Space Soldiers fans. Maybe they're Tarek fans. Who knows?
Regardless, that becomes an easy round for Space Soldiers to push well ahead now at 13-10. Another investment coming in from Complexity, but this could be one of the last big buys they have before Space Soldiers get themselves at least up on the map point. Complexity just to play for OT. Last harass, much of Complexity decide to continue playing it passively here. Engine rips apart their two aggressive players in a long though. Stanislav and Ye going down. Shazam catching one trade. He's locked in here though. Double mollies and no, he doesn't even escape it. Engine burns him out outright. And it's just Android and Def now, who had to send their players over towards mid. One is going to split to the A site. That's going to be Def's job to hold off against the long push, and Android will watch in the event they try to crunch this from mid.
Maybe it's destiny that we get to see Optic and play. No, this is tough. 2 up. They aren't making a move either. Now Op as well. Def doesn't. It's a tough position to be in when you're in CT. When you think that it's going to be A site, you wish you could take cat control back, at the very least, but you don't have that. I think working over your wow, that's insane.
Great.
You know his name early on in CS was Rabbit. It's quick, so it's fitting.
Well, that kill though does give Space Soldiers the room they need to get onto the A site and find a plant, but at the same time that kill has now armed both of the remaining Complexity players. This boost up, got a molly to chuck onto the site too. That's going to split them up. Ooh, it almost burns out Engine entirely. We can solve with about 2 to 3 more ticks before we would have burnt out. There's that boost showing up again as Def's able to find Engine from it. Now we're even into a 2v2, but this is still a tough retake considering they've got to take down a player inside of Pit. They've only got 1 kit to play off of here as well. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. Alex waiting back down to the bottom of the ramp. He finds one. Def does find the opportunity to trade, but he's got to be cautious of the Pit player as well. He knows one's going to be sitting back there since they have the op. Sadly, still is not able to outplay as Paz takes him down from range, and Space Soldiers get up to 14.
Oh, always tricky. They didn't realize that there was another player there on the ramp. Oh my gosh. We'll have to rub your eyes out.
Stanislav is going to call for a timeout here, so Complexity are going to take a second to figure out how they want to play this in the long run. They do have arguably just enough money to force here if they wanted to go for it. It would not be a great buy, though, as most players are still around 2K. They decide against that. They just go for a half buy in this round, so they are going to play for OT more than likely, unless, of course, they can complete the eco upset on this round.
I recommend the NA special, the Tilton Force.
The Tilton Force?
One of the ultimate strategies in North American Counter-Strike. Works 20% of the time, every time.
For some reason, it's only in our region that we see it.
Yeah.
It seems. I wonder why that is.
We appear to have grown. I don't think that's happening, and instead, Complexity are hedging their bets.
That's the cool, calm, collected head of Stanislav. That's the reason why we don't see focused on the game.
16'da alırız inşallah.
Rather the emotion would probably be a better word to use.
Xbox smoke and a meeting of terrorists in the middle by the doors.
It's gonna get ugly right here. 3 CTs waiting on the other side of it too, and this is not normal, but the assist on the flash is once again perfect. Yay! With that Deagle though showing up, but it's Android. He's been a specialist with it so far here. He's only gonna be able to put 1 kill together though before he goes down to Paz. Paz will look for a few more, but Space Soldiers are aware of the presence for the CTs. So they back up. They don't want to take a close range duel against the Deagle again. Pull
Anlar
away from it. But that has once again armed the two players with AKs. But while all this chaos was going on, Engine switched along, got free control there. Was able to knock out Stanislav once he got to the cross position. So he's completely restricted Ye. Forced him into a 1v3.
Oh,
wow. Perfect timing shot from Paz to close out on the round, and now Space Soldiers sit at the cusp over here on map and match point. Complexity will get that full buy, but they've now got to win 5 rounds straight.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one to stomach for Complexity. It's just a pretty rough
bir maç best of 1 olduğu için yayından da bu kadar.
They get on the second op at the very least. This can make things easier on communication, on your setup.
Abi ne yapayım ya?
And then sometimes you lose a very important rifle. Sometimes Calyx just comes alive when it most matters, leaving Stanislav in a very defensive position in the boost. And Def catches one straggler out mid. So long control is Space Soldiers, but Complexity at least have a kill to show for this round. They still haven't gotten Stan in a good spot, however, and the rotates aren't there. So, you know, Def doesn't want to rotate. It seems like everybody's kind of trapped in awkward spots.
T's actually pushed really early for some reason before that smoke and successfully plumed. So they get the CT's another opportunity for a kill. Stanislav lining up another frag 4. He gets traded 2. And again, we're even. A 2v2 locked in position. Oh, and look at this. Because they think that one of the players would have moved in on the flank. Oh, Def. If you hit that, Def, would be incredible. But it's not going to happen, and we do see Xantares and Engine picking up the last 2 kills as Space Soldiers take control of their opening matchup. It took Engine some time to get here, but when he showed up, he was ready to frag, and so was the rest of the squad. They're moving on into the winners match in just a couple of minutes. As for Complexity, we'll be seeing them tomorrow going up against Optic, and we know that one's going to be fun.
Yeah, I guess it was destiny after all. It's very unfortunate. Complexity right now, you probably don't feel so good.
Şu turnuva alsak var ya ne güzel olur ya.
That's a really hard one to stomach. Unfortunately for them, but it was great from Space Soldiers, and you could see the fire in Major's eyes as soon as they won that eco round. They're like, okay, they're looking weak right now, right? They're making egregious pushes, the mistakes. We can take advantage of this. Like, let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely, and so they do take full control, especially in the second half. Space Soldiers really showing up with the firepower that's needed. Complexity.
Abi şu mouse'larını anlamadım. Şunlar ne? Hani güzel HyperX almışsınız klavyeler. Muhtemelen Alloy. HyperX Alloy muhtemelen. De bu Microsoft mouse'lar ne oluyor anlamadım. Neyse beyler. Akşam yayına katıldığınız için teşekkür ederim. Sahur yaptınız değil mi sizin Türkiye'de orada? Aynen sahur oldu. Hadi herkese iyi geceler millet. Yarın veya öbür gün ne zaman artık açarsam yayını görüşürüz. Kendinize iyi bakın. Bu hafta video gelecek. İnşallah bir sıkıntı olmazsa. Başka da yani bir şey yok, planım yok yani. Video gelecek muhtemelen. Değişik bir video gelecek ama gelirse. Fortnite ile ilgili bir video gelecek muhtemelen. Öyle bir planım var. Hepinize teşekkür ederim tekrardan. Kendinize iyi bakın. Görüşürüz beyler. Sağlıcakla kalın.